The situation we are living now today is one of the worst scenarios that we could have ever imagined only a couple of years ago. The signals were there that we were going towards a bottomless pit that would have cast us as a whole population into a dark room without escape. But we could never imagine there would have been something related to medical, like this contagion or pandemics, as has been not announced completely, but suggested by the WHO is today. I say this because it's very strange and funny too, with some respect, that we are all talking about pandemics. Every country is treating the situation as a pandemics without the major organization that is entitled to announce such has never actually done it. They suggested that it's like a pandemic, so the measures that WHO is inviting the government to take is as if it's a pandemic, but was never completely announced. On the other hand, it was said enough about calling up pandemics to probably trigger the cat bonds that were initiated by the World Bank a couple of years ago, and that they are bound to expire this year. The cat bonds that would distribute money of investors of billions of dollars, probably, whether or not this humanitarian catastrophe occurs. So in this first episodes of what I hope will be a series, I would like to address one question primarily, and is, what are we living into right now? Are we living a condition of health danger? Are we damaging ourselves because we're not following the guidelines of WHO, or at least some governments aren't? Or are we killing our freedoms and our liberty for following too much guidelines that have no construct and have made no sense in a situation that it's, for the most part, at least that's what it seems, constructed and artificially made? The answer to this is not so easy to make, because there are so many different sources of information, misinformation, disinformation, and counter-information that all mixed up in a melting pot called internet, that it's very difficult for common people to discern the real from the fake. However, there are some signs that we can read, and one of this is what gives the title to the series, Panphobia, the fear for everything. It is a very ancient term. It is something that surfaces in our subconscious, dark and enclosed and suffocating atmosphere. It is something that paralyzes, frees us in the way we think, the way we act, the way we speak. It makes us do something that we don't want, or it doesn't make us do anything at all. And therefore, we would be more guided or misguided or controlled by powers that fear don't have. Now, the question arises when we see how the world reacted to this coronavirus, that, by the way, it's nothing new. It is well known among the scientists, microbiologists, and other professionals in the area of viruses and bacteria. It's well known. It's a very wide family of viruses. It's widespread not only in human beings but also in animals. And now we're learning, thanks to the Tanzania Prime Minister, that according to the test kit, also papaya and other fruits, they turn out to be positive to the COVID-19. So this type of test, by the way, I think that the Tanzania Prime Minister was quite smart in the way he verifies the uh, legitimacy or not of the test. It is quite funny in a tragic way if we think that because of the test kit, a lot of people are suffering and dying, basically by their own action. There is not an external pathogenic agent like the COVID that is killing millions, as mainstream media are trying to pitch to us. And there is a reason for it. The reason is that if we feel that we are in danger, we fear for our lives. And if we fear for our lives, our capacity, our ability to think is impaired, limited, or annihilated, depends on how much of free will we possess. So why I call it the virus within, it's because what really is killing us, what is damaging and hurting us, it's our own fear. It's the fear for something that may have happened, but certainly not to the extent that the large organizations and the media and the financial institutions are trying to advocate. I still believe that we live in a healthy world, and I think that the only way that we are destroying the natural world in which we are is by being afraid of who we are but not knowing what's going on exactly. And this is one of the most powerful instruments that the strong powers, the dark powers behind all this are using to keep us under ignorance. And this is the thesis that I'm going to make in this video and the series that will follow. Ignorance is the roots for fear. What we don't know, we fear. And what we fear, we despise. Because obviously we don't like to be afraid. What we despise, we hate. And hatred leads to anger. And it's an escalation, it's a chain reaction that only plunges us deeper into this bottomless pit of obscure and dark energies. So it's really up to us, by living a life which is positive and free thinking, and trying to observe what is around us. We don't see around us people dying on the street or hospitals flocked with dying people of all ages. We don't see a virus hitting randomly anywhere. What we see, however, only after 4 months of these so-called pandemics, is people wearing all the protections they can, anywhere, everywhere, outside, inside, and the look of people to each other, it's either scared or envious or angry, because of we don't know exactly what's going on, but we are bombarded by such a negativity from the mainstream media that we are led to believe that we must be afraid, that nobody knows what's going on. But there are people who know very well what this is all about, and I'll try to share my opinion about it in different topics. I've already started with a video a month ago about the financial issue and the financial planning that could be behind this, and most certainly is, according to my opinion. I still believe that the major force behind this false pandemics is financial interests, not economical. Financial interest, speculation, virtual numbers that can only make an elite, a minority of people extremely rich and the mass of people extremely poor.